Hey guys, how's it going today? We are coming back to you with 3 movements that we're going over. They are all going to be a shoulder to overhead position. I'm Coach Mara, and this is Coach Dave.
How you doing?
And we're going to get right into those 3 movements. So the first one is called the strict press. Second movement we're going to show you is a push press. And then the third movement is our push jerk. So Dave's going to demo this one for you. He's going to go ahead and pick up that barbell. And he's taking it right to his shoulder, as I mentioned. So very first thing that he's going to do is he's going to make sure his feet are underneath his hips. So he's got a hip width apart. Should be about that distance, guys. Second thing is that his core is nice and engaged. So he is pulling those hips under, pulling the ribs down, and keeping that stomach nice and tight. Okay? Third thing that we want to talk about is his hand position. It's right outside of the shoulder, and then you'll notice from the side view his elbows are slightly in front of that bar. Once he's got all of those things done, the next part is just pressing that bar straight up overhead. Okay? Make it sound super easy. There's a few components to this, okay? First thing is that we want a nice straight line when you are pressing the bar from your shoulder to that overhead position that he's going to demo right now. Okay, so nice straight line, and then he's going to bring himself back down with the bar, those elbows bend. Okay, what we do not want to see, I'm going to have Dave demo this, is what's called arcing of the bar. It is a kind of a push out and around and then back overhead. Okay, that is a big no-no. We don't want to see that. Okay, so he's going to do a good one more time. He's pushing straight up. Notice at the top he's got that elbow nice and locked out, and his core is nice and engaged even with that bar up overhead. So his ribs are pulled down and we're focused right there on a nice tight core. And I'm going to let him go ahead and bring that bar back down to the shoulder and take it all the way down to the floor. So that is the strict press, and I'm going to stop talking and he's going to take over.
Tag, you're it. All right, so one thing that she did, she mentioned was you want to make sure you get that bar all the way up overhead. We do not want to find the bar in front of us. Okay, so whether you arc around, you don't want to do that. We want that straight line, but remember, we're not out here. Okay, it is a straight line up. As she goes through it, you're going to see that same movement straight up and overhead. We want to always find a position that we can hold for a while, right? So Mara's going to pick up that bar. She's going to find her stance with her feet under her hips, okay? And I'm going to have her do exactly what I just did. We're going to bring that bar up overhead. Okay, and if I told her, just like when you saw me, I could sit here and talk and she can hold it overhead. Now, if she has that bar out in front of her slightly, right, she's not going to be able to hold that for very long. Bring it back down. So make sure it's all the way up. You're not out in front. So now we're going to go over what we call a push press. So what I did was the strict press, and that is a pure strength movement. Now what we're going to do is kind of get a little bit of power from the hips. So when she does this, she's going to set up just like the press that I did, except now she's going to dip, right? So we're going to start by dipping. When we dip, we want to dip straight down like our back is up against the wall. So she's going to stand up. And again, when we dip, it comes straight down and up, okay? We do not want to lean forward and stick our butt out, okay? We want to keep our body right under that barbell. And then what she's going to do is she's going to dip. And as she comes up, she's going to press into the bar and then bring it back down, right? Everything just like the strict press at the top. She's locking out, driving that head through, but that dip, back stays straight. So she's going to dip and press and pull the bar back overhead. So that is your push press, okay? There you go. Again, one more. So I'll let her bring it down and rest for a second. So now we are going to go into a Did you have something to say?
No, I'm good.
So now we're going to go into a push jerk. Okay, this is more of a little bit more of an advanced movement. Some of you guys may not opt to do this, but it is kind of, you're going to do the same thing she did in a push press, where you're going to dip and press. The only difference is you're going to re-dip, right? So she's going to dip, press, and catch it in a dip. What I usually tell people to start them out is this. We're going to move her bar for a second, and I tell them, bring your feet about hip width apart, right where we want them. And I'm going to tell her, I want you to keep your chest up. I want you to jump and land in a dip. So just jump and land in a dip. And that's it, right? So stand and then jump and land in a dip, right? That's what you're doing. Now, the only difference is she's going to have a bar in her hands. As she jumps, that momentum is going to kind of go into the bar, and she's going to drop underneath it. Okay, so we're going to have her grab the bar again. She's going to bring it to the shoulders. You want to make sure the bar is in contact with the shoulders in a front rack, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to create power from the hips into the bar. So she's going to dip, and she's going to press and re-dip and stand. Good. And back down, and she's going to dip, press, re-dip, get those hips under the bar, and bring it back down. And she can bring it all the way down now. So that is a push jerk. It's a little bit more advanced. So I would master the presses first, that dip and press, or the strict press for your strength before you move on. But these are kind of the proper movements to get a barbell overhead.
One final note, make sure your movements are nice and fluid. They should not have any pauses in them. So when you notice I dip, I'm immediately getting that drive back up and then dropping back underneath it, okay? One nice fluid motion.
And lastly, we showed it with a bar. You can do these same things with a dumbbells, right? So if you have a dumbbell, you can hold those dumbbells on your shoulders. You can still do that dip. You can still do that press. You can do your strict presses. But you can do any of that with a dumbbell. But we use the bar just so you guys can see that straight path from the side with a barbell rather than having the dumbbells.
All right, guys, stay strong, stay fit, stay healthy. We'll see you next time. Bye.